Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh baby, that's the stuff.
ever.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
This is
Yes.
it.
Yes.
Come on, baby. Let's get it on. Hello everyone and welcome to the new year. No, I am not 2 months behind on my upload schedule. Got a lot planned for this year, so stay tuned. But today's topic is what I hope to be the beginning of a fairly lucrative series here on the channel where I cover Pokemon ROM hacks. I'm not a Pokemon channel, I just like Pokemon. You'll still get your reviews and other stuff. I'm just trying to find easier projects to do on the side so I can get videos out and not have a brain aneurysm in the process. Allow me now to reach my hand into this off-screen portal that only contains physical copies of Pokemon ROM hacks and review the first thing that I find. Pokemon Snake... What the hell? What the hell is this thing? Well, only one way to find out. This is Pokemon Snakewood. Pokemon Snakewood is a dark and gritty alternate future spin-off of the story of Ruby and Sapphire. After the death of Rayquaza and the subsequent restructuring of society as a whole, you play as one of two incredibly dynamic characters. You awaken in a ruined Little Root town completely devoid of your memories. As I'm sure you've noticed from the thumbnail, this hack includes zombies and quite a bit of gore. As you enter Route 101, you encounter your first undead as it attempts to devour Professor Birch. What follows is an adventure of epic proportions as you discover all of Hoenn is covered with the zombie plague. This story is filled with constant turns as you fight for any foothold that you can. Every inch is earned through sacrifice and bloodshed. The friends you make on your journey are all that more important as their safety is always up in the air as death could sweep them away into the ether at any point. Pokemon Snakewood is the ultimate test of one's ability to remain positive. Created by the talented Cutlery because in their words, every single mainstream Pokemon game is identical. A shallow plot based around thwarting a somewhat bumbling team, a series of 8 gyms and the league, and then more or less nothing. So true. Cutlery's words couldn't resonate with me anymore, and by playing Pokemon Snakewood, I think I finally see things from their point of view. The adventure I went on is surely one I will remember until the day that I die. Every inch of this ROM hack is oozing with personality, every character a complex labyrinth of cascading emotions to discover. I played this game over the course of 3 days and over 15 grueling hours, and what I was left with was this singular thought. This game is terrible. I mean this without any jokery or nuance, and I will borrow my exact words that I sent to my friends after finishing this hack. Do not, under any circumstance or whimsy, ever even imply jokingly that you would begin to fathom, to consider, to dream of playing Pokemon Snakewood. It is not worth it. But I'm getting ahead of myself. As with all Pokemon games, you begin by naming your character and choosing either a boy or a girl. And I mean, wow, I am not gonna pick that boy sprite. The girls' default names are also pretty edgy. Ghost, Haunt, Jericho, and Boba Fett. From the creator's Poke community thread, the boy's canonical name is Wraith and the girl's is Jericho. Woo boy. We then wake up in a ruined Little Root town, ignoring the immediately out of place glitchy tiles, and have to choose our starter based off of vague terms like that this Pokeball is spinning on its own axis, this one is gently spewing out exhaust fumes, and this one has an air of ill health about it. The starters are actually either a Baltoy, a Paris, or a Coughing. I went with Baltoy because my chat picked it. Follow me on Twitch, link in the description. And that turned out to be a terrible idea because literally every trainer battle had some hard counter to it.
Yeah, I literally can't attack her because Confusion is Psychic type. Do I lose all my money? There may be a small issue with the balancing here.
In fact, every single one of these Pokemon are so mathematically bad that the initial pacing of the story is halted as you have to either grind to greatly outlevel your opponent or overwhelm them with human wave tactics. Pokemon Wave Tactics. This was apparently an intentional design choice by the dev because he hated the idea of players using their starter for the entire game, so he wants you to box them as soon as possible and build your own unique team. This would be fine and dandy if he hadn't forgotten to add more different types of Pokemon in the beginning areas. So you're still stuck with Zigzagoon, Seedot, Poochyena, and Wingull as your backups until you get to later areas. And in Let's Plays that I've seen online, most people just end up using the same teams anyway. Since there's a lot of unique Pokemon that the game just gives you, everyone's teams kind of look like the same at the end, so I feel like all of this just kind of backfired on him. It is now that I will regale you with the entire story of Pokemon Snakewood, as the rest of the video deserves as much context as possible. So after waking up, you discover that the entire region is under attack from zombies, but only sometimes because they instantly become background dressing to the more important villains, actual fucking demons. And also floating heads. And also ghosts and spirits and manic chefs and trolls and witches. You're introduced to a girl named Alicia who's a death caller. You meet a Taoist named Glyce and his evil, shadowy spirit friend Don Talion, who possesses a dead body and leads you into Rust Turf Tunnel, where the Cutman's daughter is being used as a gateway to allow demons passage into our plane of existence. After solving that issue, you are confronted by Pestilence of the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse, who touts that they are the only female member of the Horsemen, because that matters. Professor Birch reprograms an old military satellite to communicate with Dewford Town and finds out that your older brother, who is the champion of Hoenn and is also dating May because this guy's OCs are so cool and awesome, was last seen there. Upon meeting the new female gym leader, you're tasked with investigating the newly christened Solar Cave, where you encounter and fight the Dragon King Meteor, who flies away after being defeated. Gym leader Haruko, of course, readies the island's anti-air gun for defense in case they return, as all islands do, but not before attacking you with a whatever this is. Upon receiving info that your brother may be in Slateport, you make your way there, only to find that the port town is overrun by former chefs who have gone insane and are killing everything in sight. Combating them is a post-government collapse group known as the Inquisition, led by another Taoist that has it out for Glyce. You go on a completely irrelevant side mission only to discover that the Inquisition has kidnapped Glyce and you set off to rescue him. Within the Inquisition is an even more elite group known as the Deadly Seven, consisting of 10 members. After fighting through the Inquisition's base and rescuing Glyce, you make your way into the northern desert where you encounter Famine, who of course is the cause of the chefs going mad. Some vague lore is thrown around and you inevitably fight Alicia again, who seemingly regrets working for the Horsemen. On Birch's behalf, you head to the mountain monastery that exists in this game, because of course it does, to aid them in the fight against an Aerodactyl that was summoned by Famine. You save the Inquisition's leader from being destroyed by Famine, make friends again with Alicia, and head to Fall Arbor Town to plan an attack against the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. It's decided that you and Alicia will attack them head on while the Inquisition handles the undead horde, and you make your way into this cave where the Horsemen are located. Only, holy guacamole, Alicia was actually War of the Horsemen of the Apocalypse and was a traitor all along, and also the second female of the Horsemen of the Apocalypse, so everything Pestilence said was a lie. After defeating War, Death, yes Death, you know Death, the Grim Reaper, Death, shows up and recalls the Horsemen to wherever they exist normally, banishing them from the relevance of the plot. Heading further north, you find the Weather Institute under attack by none other than Glyce, who reveals himself to also be a traitor, and that Meteor, the Dragon King, is a neutral third party that's forced into service by the Taoist villain as his daughter, a psychic egg, has been captured and is being held for ransom. You liberate the egg and head to Lily Cove, where you're cornered by the Inquisition before being saved at the last second by literal fucking dragons. You defeat Chloe, the Taoist Inquisition head, and are taken to Fort Draco, where you return Meteor's daughter and are thanked for her rescue. Returning to Lily Cove, you find that the true ultimate villain of Snakewood is atop the Lily Cove department store, enacting a dark ritual to bring forth more zombies into Hoenn. It's also revealed that the Deadly Seven are good guys and part of a secret society of warriors known as the Order of the Afro that wield insanity as a weapon against pure evil. After getting to the top of the building, you encounter the Dark Lord of the East, Senex, who we soundly defeat even though he wields the 3 dark legendary Pokemon, one of which is literally just an evil mushroom. He returns to his lair in Sootopolis while we test our mettle with the Elite Four for some reason. We then travel to the Lily Cove sewers, where we are attacked by Glyce and trapped in a fantasy dream where the zombie apocalypse never happened, only to resist the effects of the spell and awaken in the Necropolis, where we are soundly defeated by the first enemy present. We then fight a mirror that contains a character from the Bible that we end up killing later for no apparent reason. We then head to Sootopolis, where every important character has actually been part of a secret society hell-bent on the preservation of life and reality in Hoenn, and prepare an attack on Senex's home base of operations. Within the Necropolis, we find our brother and May, frozen in kryptonite, and rescue them, only to find that every warrior on our our side was soundly defeated. Disregarding that, we take on Sanex, who is again wielding the 3 dark legendary Pokemon, one of which is literally just an evil mushroom. Despite us winning, Sanex still remains too powerful. Just as we are about to be obliterated, the head of the Order of the Afro leaps to our aid, wielding a Haiku to produce enough insanity to disrupt the powers of Sanex. Despite this, however, Sanex bakes a cake and destroys all of Hoenn. We then battle Sanex one last time, cheered on by the leader of the Order of the Afro, using the power of references to gain enough power to overwhelm and banish Sanex from existence. Left alone in the void, we use a made-up plot device to rewrite reality and save Hoenn, placing everything back where it belongs. The story ends with everyone at the table clapping. Or at least the story ends there for me, because in order to get to the post-game, you have to do a whole bunch of convoluted and unnecessary nonsense that literally isn't referenced anywhere. Actually, a ton of things require you to innately know things that literally aren't referenced anywhere. Everything that I mentioned in the story isn't even half of the gameplay involved to get through it all. I've literally never encountered a more convoluted, nonsensically exposited, endless stream of random consciousness than Pokemon Snakewood. So maybe you don't care about the story, and that's fine, but I do, and apparently so does the creator of this hack.
This one has more plot, more twists, more far-fetched nonsense, and a great deal more presence for the player character. It's also, in my opinion, funnier.
If you sold lemonade, I could buy some from you. I don't sell lemonade. Thus, you should sell me some. Are you listening to me? I don't sell lemonade. Sell me lemonade, you little brat! I refuse. Fair enough. Are you laughing? Because that was one of the jokes. Why aren't you laughing? I mean, I've played Pokemon my whole life, and I don't really recall an innate focus on humor being a priority. I mean, who could forget the knee slapper when you had to fight the ghost of the Marowak who died protecting its child from a terrorist organization? That one was always my favorite joke. Cutlerine themselves specifically asked for constructive criticism on their Poke community thread, so by good golly gosh, I'm gonna give it. The story is drivel. It is not interesting beyond the innate novelty of a horror-based trek through the Pokemon universe, which, like I said before, gets thrown out a 10-story window about an hour into this over 20-hour experience. Apparently, Cutlerine considers the beginning of the game to be its weakest structurally, which I wholeheartedly disagree with. A few of my friends that watched me play through the game all became immediately hooked on the beginning elements, despite the teenage angst-ridden fluffy bits. Just because a game has more plot elements does not make it better than one with fewer plot elements. Twists only make something more compelling when I can't see them coming from a mile away. When you're ready, come find me. It'll just be like old times. She's totally still working for them. She's 100% working for them. This is a trap. Like, right? Like, that everything she told me is bullshit. Twists existing for the sake of twists are meaningless when they're so blatantly in your face about it. Characters spout which side they're on like they're trying to sell you the latest vacuum cleaner, only to go, psych! Gotcha, dumbass! When I couldn't give a shit less! It doesn't help that when I read a great deal more presence for the player character, I can only assume they mean that the character I'm playing as has pre-written dialogue that goes a little something like, whoa! This is crazy! I can't believe jokes are happening right now. I am fed up with the circumstances of my current predicament. It basically boils down to the main character saying what Cutlerine hopes you are saying at this point in time, which takes away some of the innate wonder of what makes role-playing games so much fun. I mean, could you imagine how stupid Link would sound if they made him talk? Oh right, they did do that, and it sucked, so they never brought it back. It doesn't help that after you get past the initial beginning of the gameplay goes full troll mode. It all starts from your first gym battle, where for some reason the Doofer Gym's darkness mechanic doesn't slowly go away as you defeat trainers. In vanilla Ruby and Sapphire, if you don't know, as you defeat some of the gym leader's fodder trainers, the darkness is supposed to slowly dissipate, allowing you to see more of the gym and making finding the big bad boss that much easier. This isn't even half of it. The gym leader throws out whatever the hell a King Mario is, and you're left wondering what a level 1 Pokemon is doing on a gym leader's ace team. Well, you poor sack of shit, it's invincible because it has Wonder Guard, and it also only has Nightshade, so you're stuck waiting for all of its PP to run out so it can kill itself while only dealing you 1 point of damage every turn. There's also the Isle of Calm, which the creator describes as maddening. Yeah, that's one way to describe it. You could also call it the biggest waste of time since waiting at the DMV or watching actual paint dry. This is also where the Deadly Seven are introduced, and I've never wanted to stab someone to death more than this group of Neanderthals. In order to release Gleist from capture, which doesn't even make sense. Like, how did Gleist get captured when he's supposed to be the super powerful right-hand man of the main villain of the game, a literal dark god? Anyway, you need the password from the leader of the Deadly Seven to get into another set of caves, so you have to defeat each member 1 by 1. There are 10 of them because life is one big joke and everyone hates you. Most, if not all, members are in their own little cubby of this cave system, and every time you defeat one and try to exit their room, you're teleported to this specific room, which spits you out on the complete other side of the mountain. All of the grass nearby has their encounter rates set to maximum, so you'll be getting attacked by wild Pokemon at least once or twice on your way back to check another room where you fight another completely irrelevant trainer with a single Pokemon and get spit out again and again and again until you defeat 9 of them and speak with this specific one, because if you speak with him before you defeat all 9, he doesn't allow you to battle him, and going back inside the cave spits you back out to try all over again. If you forgot which channel you have and haven't checked, then good luck, because it's all trial and error. And isn't this just so fun? Isn't it? Well, buckle up, sunshine, because we're not even inside the base yet! Once you get the password and press the switch that allows you into the real base and walk through this tunnel, you get sent to the boardroom, which is a giant room full of these red tiles that warp you back to the beginning area of the room unless you step on the right ones. How do you know which ones are the right ones? You don't! It's all trial and error, baby! So enjoy doing this over and over again until you give up and find a walkthrough like I did. But if that weren't bad enough, the Deadly Seven are all in your way as you move about the room. So you've got to defeat them all over again. Twice!
Literally, if I go on any... No. No! There's more?
Yes, you have to battle 20 people to get through this room on top of the Inquisition grunt at the beginning of the area. I didn't test this, but I can only assume that if you mess up here after battling any of the Deadly Seven, their flags would get refixed or something, and you'd have to battle them again as punishment. After getting through that, you move through this corridor with these strange tiles that spawn a low-level wild Pokemon for you to battle. There's 17 of these. By the end of this room, you're so spent either one-shotting the completely irrelevant enemies in front of you or just running from them since it saves you some time. You enter the next room and there's even more battles, and if you do what I think most people would do and head down these stairs, you'll get teleported out of the entire base with your pants down and your kidney missing!
I think I go in here. Oh my god. No.
Heading down the other flight of stairs leads you to 2 teleporters. Picking the wrong one teleports you to a pad surrounded by more encounter tiles that spawns a high-level trainer battle that no one in their right mind would ever be able to beat. And guess what happens when you lose? That's right! You get teleported even farther away to the last Pokemon Center you rested at. So you know what that means? Do the boardroom again. Do the encounter tile hallway again. If I wanted to get trolled by a 10-year-old, I would boot up Super Mario Maker.
Oh my god, that's so funny! That's never been done before!
Now you may be thinking to yourself, Sass, bro, pal, chum, mate, compadre, this is a troll hack. You're getting trolled because you're playing a troll hack. Well, that's not what Cutlery describes it as. The closest thing alluding to any of this is that there's been a slight increase to the difficulty level. I don't think slight, covers the grand scope of things when one of the puzzles has a clue in chapter 25 of the book of Genesis in the Bible.
All right, everybody. It looks like we got all of our Pokemon to level 50. Yay! Yay! So since we're nearing the end game of Pokemon Snakewood, I figured we'd all turn our Bibles to Genesis 25. Hey, quick question. Why is he in a mirror, though? Kill him.
Well, that skit sucked.
Ironically, the only puzzles in the game that are actually enjoyable are the ones that feel like they would come from a Pokemon game. It's a bit of a hunch, but playing through Pokemon Snakewood left me feeling like the creator despises the Pokemon franchise. Why else would you make a game so painfully unfun to play? The battles are too plentiful and tedious. The story drags on far longer than it needs to. Anything even remotely interesting is gated off until the dev gets his chance to explain to you why it's so cool. The point of a game like Pokemon is the innate sense of wonder and intrigue you can instill in the player to want to see your world without directly telling them what to do. You see something like a shiny Aerodactyl in the desert and you think, oh man, I want to fight that, but no! Snakewood says you have to go to the monastery and talk to a bunch of nobodies you don't care about and have them explain to you why you want to go fight it. Couldn't possibly ruin the pacing by putting a sliding puzzle in that's too big to fit in the screen, so you're constantly just guessing on where you're going to end up. Every important villain takes the Kingdom Hearts 3 approach by being cartoonishly evil and taunting you from afar, only to teleport away at the first sign of danger. Every NPC shrugs off questions about what is happening with a simple, "In due time, young Padawan, in due time." No, bitch, explain to me now! Coloring touts how shallow the plots of other Pokemon games are, and to an extent, I'll agree? But you cannot tell me that this is a good alternative. Most of the time, I don't even need a story in a Pokemon game. Just let me go on an adventure, meet cool people, and encounter crazy cool things. It's the discovery and the ease of access that make good Pokemon ROM hacks fun. Not adding in 6 fucking Denju from a series nobody has ever heard of for the sake of referencing something obscure. There are hacks out there that make referencing things and joking around their entire identity. Ones I hope to get the chance to play and review. There are RPGs out there where everything is chaotic and insane, but never at the expense of the player. Why do you think games like Yuppie Psycho, Mother, and Undertale are so beloved by the gaming community? The insanity is their biggest charm, but it doesn't punish the player for actively trying to take part in that insanity. You cannot just put every single idea that comes to mind into a game and then expect people to like it. You cannot hide behind the fact that it's a joke when you clearly put a lot of yourself into it. There's nothing wrong with expressing yourself and putting your creations out there, but not at the expense of the viewer. If you set out to create a troll hack that is super hard and has a super specific way of being played, I think everyone would have appreciated that being said. Then I would have put you into a completely different category of ROM hack, similar to Kaizo Emerald or literally Pokemon Troll version. I think I'd be substantially less angry at having spent an entire weekend wasting my life playing Pokemon Snakewood if you had simply said it was a troll hack full of nonsense and wasn't meant to be played like a traditional Pokemon game. It'd make a lot of things make sense, but it's not a troll hack, and you know it, and everyone who plays this knows it, and it bothers you because I can't find a single presence of you on the internet. Doing research for this video led me to find more people openly despising you for wasting their time than anyone that had anything nice to say about your work. I get that this hack came out over a decade ago, and I'm fully aware that this may not even be how you feel about Pokemon Snakewood anymore, or how you feel about storytelling anymore, but that won't stop me from being upset over this dumpster fire. I played through this game with the occasional cheat here and there to speed up progress. God only knows how long it would actually take someone to play through it legitimately. It's very odd to me. Your introductory message spoke of every mainstream Pokemon game being identical, yet you did nothing to improve on that formula. You still fight a bumbling evil team. You still end up getting most of the badges, though now there's only ever one actual gym battle, and the game literally abandons you at the end, leaving you with no clues on where to continue. Apparently there's an entire area I've yet to encounter encounter called Gym Island, but the only way to get there is by this nonsensical parade of random events that only make sense to the developer. There are fan fictions with more restraint than this, whereas other ROM hacks stand out by providing quality of life improvements like removing HMs, allowing you to run indoors, adding in tons of new Pokemon in the physical special split, or literally a completely new experience every time that you play. Pokemon Snakewood adds in inane things like changing Baynet to a ghost fighting type, changing item names for no apparent reason,
What the fuck is a gamblefish?
making you have to catch specific Pokemon to progress with no indication that this is a thing. You literally have to catch a Ditto and have it in your party so that it can transform into a key. What is this? Having an egg that evolves into an egg that evolves into an egg that evolves into your choice of legendary Pokemon based on what stone you happen to have on hand, or side areas that hold no relevance to anything at all. Referencing things does not add any merit to your own creation. It just reminds me that I could be spending my time elsewhere. If you want to play Pokemon Snakewood yourself, by all means do it. Godspeed. Just know that there's only so much fun to be had when every NPC goes at you every 5 seconds. There are bright spots like Lanoon evolving into a giant furry dragon, which is not a sexual euphemism, and the innate shock factor of literally pillaging the leftovers item from a corpse. Here you go! This has healing properties. For anyone interested, there is a fan project called Pokemon Sallowood in the works. Apparently, it's a spiritual successor to Pokemon Snakewood, and actually has some fairly impressive sprite work. I've definitely got my eye on it. I mean, being better than a floating ball of eyes isn't exactly a hard bar to get over, but it is worth mentioning. Anyway, that'll about do it for today. I can only, scream at a hack of a Pokemon game for so long. If you've played Snakewood before, did I hit the nail on the head? And maybe if you were thinking about playing it, did I talk you out of it? I have a friend who will play just about anything, and about halfway through my playthrough, he thanks me for suffering so that he didn't have to. If you enjoy my content and want to go the extra mile and help me not have to have a job so that I can do this gig full time, give my Patreon a look. You can give me a couple bucks every month and get your name in every single one of my future videos, like these wonderfully sassy individuals right here. A big thank you to Michaela Savage and ATK Forme for believing in me and my work. You're both beautiful. Anyway, do all the YouTube algorithm stuff like liking the video and commenting down below. I don't care what you can comment zombies are actually people too. It doesn't matter to me as long as you put a comment down there. And you guys have a wonderful day. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.